Welcome back, everyone. It's Lexi with Empower You Performance Physical Therapy. Today I'm with Batya. Batya, thank you so much for joining me. Tell me a little bit about you and your experience as a realtor.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here. I love to talk and connect with people. So I've been in real estate going on 3 years now.
Okay.
I joined in the toughest market in over 30 years, but what comes with that is a level of hustle and dedication and work ethic.
For sure.
To be able to build those genuine connections and really add value to people's experiences. Austin has about 20,000, give or take, real estate agents.
Okay.
So in a market that's so hyper-saturated, it's really important to find your brand and why you stand out.
Yeah, no, I love that. So what got you into the profession of selling homes in the first place?
So I had a nannying business for 5 years before getting into real estate, and just got a little burned out. And I was ready for something next, but I wasn't quite sure what that was. And my husband, we've actually been together since we were 16, so high school sweethearts.
Special.
Now 14 years later, he's stuck with me. And he was like, well, you always sound like you're trying to sell the apartments we rent, so why don't you get your real estate license? And I had never thought about myself in that role, but once he mentioned it, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And it's the hardest thing I've ever had to do. It's 7 days a week, hustle, dedication, but I feel like I'm built for it, and the skills that I have being attentive to detail and business minded and just highly ethical really combine well in the space.
For sure. Yeah, it's a great kind of compliment to all of it. So tell me about the first 3 years of your journey. What was selling that first home like, and what was that experience for your clients that you worked with?
So my first ever home was actually my best friend, and she knew that even though I was, brand spanking new, that I had the level of commitment and attention to detail to make sure every single, T was crossed and I was dotted. And so it was about 4 months into my real estate career. She's like, we're buying our first home. And she was actually, her and her husband were very easy clients. There were only 2 houses they even wanted to see. And they wanted non-cookie cutter, mature trees. So I'm out here looking at backyards before I even look at the inside. I'm like, if there's no mature trees, we don't want it. And funny enough, actually, the first house we went under contract for, during the inspection, it showed over $100,000 of repairs.
Oh my goodness.
And I told her, I'm like, listen, I know you love this home and it's Austin-y and quirky and it's, you like the vibe, but financially, just because you put that money in doesn't mean you're gonna get it out in equity. So you'd actually be starting off at a loss by putting in so much money to bring it up to standard. And so at first she needed a night to marinate on it. The next morning she's like, you're right, that's too much. So we ended up terminating that contract, found the one that they love, all went really smooth with that one. They're very happy. They put a nice chunk down and we're able to do a 15-year mortgage. So keeping everything comfortable, and I enjoy every time I come over there and kind of see how what they've added decor-wise every time.
Transition it into their home and not just the house that they initially looked at. That's special. So talk to me, you have years under your belt of experience, but at the same time, the real estate market is ever changing. How do you deal with the adversity of the highs and lows of the different seasons and just leaning into the expertise that your profession requires?
So definitely I'm very education heavy. When I first started real estate, there was a bit of that imposter syndrome of what am I doing? The real estate licensing doesn't teach you how to actually execute a contract, actual deadlines and obligations really. So there's a lot of what do I do? And so in order to get comfortable, I did over 60 open houses my first year, just getting out there, learning areas, learning people, tax rate variations, all that good stuff. And now I'm working on my 12th real estate certification. So each one of these certifications is optional. They don't even count towards continuing education credit. So it's just a lot of time and money spent, but I feel like they are necessary to me. I have one in military relocation professional, short sale and foreclosure, real estate investing, real estate divorce. I won't bore you with all 12, but each one allows me to deep dive into a client's experience, maybe before I've dealt with something, to learn from data and other agents' experiences to make sure I'm creating a game plan that is right for that client. I don't do a one-size-fits-all approach because everybody's goals and hopes and dreams are different. And so being able to fine-tune that, and then also I have a property tax consultant certification.
Okay.
Taxes vary in the Austin and surrounding areas from 1.5% to over 3%.
Okay.
And so off a $500,000 house, that could be thousands of extra dollars a year you're paying just in taxes,
Yeah.
and nobody talks about it. So my second ever client was an engineer, structural engineer.
Yeah.
He showed me basically how much that affects the overall affordability, and so now I analyze that for all of my clients
Oh, how special.
to make sure, like, hey, we're looking at these two houses, this tax rate is a full % higher than this, are you okay with that?
Yeah. Well, and that's great expertise that most probably don't have going into the home buying process. So to know that you're putting that much thought and effort into getting right aesthetics or floor plan, but also like what's financially comfortable and are you able to come into, that's fantastic. Talk to me a little bit about your brokerage that you're with. So Horizon Realty, tell me why you chose to partner with them and what makes you guys unique compared to any other brokerage firm out there.
So I will start off by saying this is my first time having a female broker.
Yeah.
This is brokerage number 3 for me in 3 years.
Okay.
Unfortunately, ethics in real estate don't always align
Yes.
with my level of ethics.
Okay.
I'm not gonna push a deal just to push a deal, and I don't want my clients in a home that they have to sell after a year because they can't afford the payments. And so with Horizon Realty, my broker Christine, she's so responsive, she's very kind, she negotiates with a kill them with kindness energy, which is
Yeah.
very similar to me, so I've truly been able to lean into my full potential here.
For sure.
And also, she wants me to elevate and grow. So I recently started doing commercial real estate in January.
Oh,
And
fantastic.
she sat with me for 2 to 3 hours to go through all the etiquette and the ins and outs and the things that I should consider. And just, that was her taking her time to do that. She didn't have to do that. So I just feel immensely supported and also free at the same time to grow my business how I see fit.
That's an incredible balance to have and what a great atmosphere to be a part of. Tell me about the team that's here at Horizon. How many realtors do you guys have on board?
So I think between 80 to 90 realtors, give or take. So we are more of a smaller boutique
Yeah.
brokerage, but I love the accessibility. I've never been able to call or text my broker and be like, hey,
Yeah.
did I use this verbiage correctly, or is there a better way I could be writing this into a contract? I mean, how you say things is everything, or a new experience or client situation I haven't come across. Knowing that I have that go-to resource and it's directly from the horse's mouth, so to speak, that is huge for me. Peace of mind. I'm very confident in what I know, but there's always more to know.
Yeah.
And so having that backup of just getting that extra support in a pleasant way. I'm a sensitive soul. Like, be nice to me. Talk to me nicely.
That's amazing. So tell me about the area that you serve. Is it the entire Austin metro area, or do you guys have key pockets that you guys really focus in on?
So every agent is different. Me personally, I'm a bit more broad at the moment.
Okay.
A lot of my clients are North Austin and north of Austin, so Round Rock, Georgetown, Cedar Park, Leander, Liberty Hill. But I have a large military clientele in Killeen, Texas, which is an hour from here too. So I will go as far as probably hour and a half radius max.
Okay.
But wherever my clients need me, and as long as I feel comfortable and confident in that market area to be able to do them justice, I'm willing to make the drive for now at least.
That's good. That's awesome. So talk to me more about the commercial expansion. So did you just kind of have a curiosity that brought you into that industry, or what was the step to branch out just beyond residential as well?
So I'd gotten to the point where I finally, as I passed my 2-year mark, like mid-end of last year, felt that I was ready to take something else on. I felt really comfortable and confident in the residential space and my knowledge and my value. And I do a lot of small and medium-sized business networking groups and chamber of commerces, and I had to pass on a commercial referral because I hadn't done it yet.
Yep.
And I was like, you know what, this is a sign.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about it, it's now coming in front of me. I do so much B2B networking, I'm like, it's time.
Yeah.
And so it was actually at our Christmas party, I went to my broker, I'm like, hey, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
Do you think I'm ready? Do you think I'm competent? She's like, absolutely. Your questions are always very high level, and I can tell that you'd be great at that. And so I was like, awesome. Are there a bunch of hoops I have to jump through? And she's like, no, I'll sit with you, I'll do this.
Yeah.
Then, your first deal, I'll walk you through this, whatever you need. And so it's given me this level of comfortability, and even though I am newer in the commercial space, I see that lack of ethics are still very prevalent, probably even more than in residential.
Yeah.
And the attention to detail saves me even in my newness. So for instance, I have a client who we were looking to rent him just a small 600 square foot space, about $1,000, $1,200 a month. So we get the lease, and I'm reviewing the lease, and it turns out that they were trying to slither in that he pay for a full HVAC replacement when the time comes. That's $20,000, that's almost 2 years of rent. It just doesn't make sense. So I went back and I'm like, hey, this needs to be striked. We'll pay for preventative maintenance and filter changes, but that just it's not feasible. It doesn't make sense. And then they're like, well, no deal. And so he had put down a deposit. And I put my broker on them because we found extensive mold in the HVAC system. I paid for like a tune-up checkup because I was like, hey, if we're gonna sign something and you're only gonna offer a 6-month warranty, we better know what the condition of the HVAC is. The units were almost 30 years old.
Oh my goodness.
So this would have been in the next few months a life-changing cost that could have crippled an entire business.
For sure.
And because of the fact that when you receive a mold disclosure in writing in real estate, you have to disclose it to everybody else. So my broker was just kind of like, hey, do you want us to email you over the proof? And they're like, no, here's the deposit back. And so thank God that was, he was able to be protected. And the listing agent even said, he's like, I could tell she was green or newer. And I'm like, well, you thought you could screw me and my client over?
No.
Think again, buddy.
Well, and like you had said, that level of detail, regardless where you're at in your career, is so important, because a minor sentence of a fluctuation like that can really impact not only a business, but families and people, and that's incredible that you have that. Okay, so anything else that we need to know about you as a real estate agent, or essentially what sets you apart from any other brokers or realtors that maybe people are looking at?
I'm truly of the belief that it's not my job to tell you when to buy a house or how much money to spend. It's really advising you on the process. And like you brought up earlier, financial comfortability is everything for me. So I don't really care what your lender says you could afford on paper. That doesn't include your Starbucks runs and your Amazon shops and all these extra things. And so I'm really looking to see what's sustainable for you and your family for as long as you're in the home. I'm looking for issues. How was the roof? How was the HVAC system, water heater? I'm looking for those 3 to 5 year problems. I also cover the cost of the inspection for my clients. Usually $400 or $500, but that is just one less thing that they have to worry about as they're shelling away all their money, even if it's comfortable, it's a lot of money to spend. And so just giving that education-based, low pressure, people-centric approach is huge. And then I guess one other little tidbit of info, I'm really passionate about giving back to the community. So for the last year and a half, there's been one elementary school in Round Rock that me and my husband have been doing monthly snack donations with a guidance counselor. We'll give them out as she sees fit, and then in January we expanded to a second school. So we're not a nonprofit yet, but I'm planning to get that set up probably by the end of this year. And just, I feel that as I continue to grow and scale my business, that it's my duty to give back and support the communities that are around me. And my mom recently passed away a few months ago, and that as unthinkable and unimaginable as losing your mom when she was 49 is. I've been using that strength and the ethics that she taught me to really keep pushing forward and honoring her. So now I'm even more refueled of like, you do what's right because it's right, it doesn't matter who's watching. And I'm just so appreciative that she instilled that in me, because it's lacking, unfortunately.
Well, it's incredible you have such a giving heart, but also like a great foundation of what's right and wrong, and being able to transpire that not only in your sales, but the community, but also kids. That's so special. I love to hear that. So what is one piece of advice you would have for whether it's a first-time home buyer or somebody who's looking to buy multiple properties? What's the one thing that you would tell them?
If I had to highlight one thing, it would definitely be financial comfortability. The pretty in a house gets old quick when you're stuck paying that mortgage every month. And making sure that, on the second piece, but your real estate agent being a cool person is great,
Yeah.
but it doesn't add value to your experience. So making sure it seems like they're giving you a lot of information and detail. Can you use the property how you wanna use it? Do you have a boat and it's an HOA and now you can't park your boat at the house if you buy the house? And so just attention to detail and putting you first is super important in your advisor, and then just that financial comfortability. If it feels like a stretch, it is a stretch.
Yeah.
And that's just not really sustainable. And your home value will increase every year, which means your property taxes will go up. And so buying at a comfortable tax rate allows for that other, built-in cushion as well.
Okay, that's fantastic. So if somebody is out in the home buying process and is looking to maybe partner with you as their realtor, how do they get a hold of you? Where can they contact you, or where can they learn more information?
It's a great question. I'll try to explain it. My name is difficult to spell / pronounce, so we'll figure it out. So I am on social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok. It's at the @ and then Buy with Batya.
Okay.
Batya's BATYA.
Okay.
And then email address, contact@buywithbatya.com.
Okay.
Website, buywithbatya.com, and then phone number 412-389-9180. So any preferred contact method works for me.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It was lovely to get to know you, and keep an eye out for more of Batya's listings coming soon.